Okay, good day. Quick question. You spend 3 weeks painting that army. You walk into the store and your brain goes, everyone here is judging every brush stroke. I have bad news and some good news. Bad news? You're wrong about why they're staring. Good news? They're not staring at all, eh? Nobody at the table is running a forensic audit of your edge highlights, eh? They're wondering if they left the stove on. Today we're diagnosing the single biggest confidence killer in the hobby, fear of judgment, and I'm going to show you the psychology that proves it's mostly fake. So if you've ever skipped a game night because you thought you weren't good enough to show up, this one's for you. Smash that like button, subscribe, and let's drag the comparison monster into the light. Welcome back to C7 Hobbies. I'm Colossal Meltdown. This episode is part of the Fighting the Comparison Monster playlist. Because, let's be honest, the toughest opponent in this hobby isn't across the table. It's the one living between your ears. That person cheats on his dice rolls too. What a hoser. The invisible audience. There's a real studied phenomenon behind this. Psychologists call it the spotlight effect. It's our tendency to wildly overestimate how much people notice us. Our mistakes, our appearance, our questionable color choices. You think everyone clocked that you forgot your stratagem? Meanwhile, your opponent is wondering if they paid their hydro bill, or left the oven on, or if their cat is currently redecorating their paint rack. You walk in carrying your army, and your brain immediately starts drafting a highlight reel of your worst case scenarios. They'll see my sloppy highlights. They'll clock my unfinished bases. They'll know I'm new. Meanwhile, the actual thoughts in their heads are like, did I bring my tape measure? I really should have hit the bathroom before I start round one, eh? If hobbyists judge each other half as much as we think they do, Golden Demon would need a referee and instant replay. Why our brains do this? Here's the twist. Comparison isn't a personality flaw. It's wiring. We evolved to compare ourselves to others to figure out where we stand socially. Useful in small doses, it helps us learn and improve. The problem starts when comparison stops being information and starts being identity. That painter has a technique I'd like to learn, is comparison. I'll never be that good, is self-criticism, wearing a fake mustache. Social media makes this worse. Here's the part nobody tells you. What you're scrolling isn't average. It's the exceptional 1%. You're comparing your Tuesday night painting session to somebody's 200-hour showcase piece. That's like comparing your Beer League Tuesday shinny game to the Stanley Cup. Although being Canadian, I fully support dreaming that big, eh? Beauty. What people don't post, the ruined paint jobs, the stripped models, the 6-hour mistakes, the scheme that looked amazing right up until it absolutely didn't. You're watching the highlight reel. Nobody uploads the blooper reel. Fear of making mistakes. Measured the wrong unit. Forgotten objective. Declared the wrong target. Moved before you remembered an ability. Welcome to being human, eh? Every experienced player has made every one of these mistakes, repeatedly. The good ones just laugh about it faster. I've forgotten rules that were printed on the data sheet I was physically holding. That's not a mistake, that's efficiency. Beauty. What people actually remember. Think back on your last 10 games. Can you list every rule mistake your opponent made? Didn't think so. But you probably remember that player who was welcoming, their dramatic dice roll, the impossible comeback, the failed charge that somehow still won you the game. People remember experiences, not tiny imperfections. Confidence isn't about becoming flawless. It's about getting comfortable being imperfect. Playing with purpose. Avoiding judgment only solves half the problem. The other half is finding your purpose. Ask yourself, not why the internet plays, not why tournament champs play, why do you play? Maybe it's building beautiful armies, telling stories, rolling dice with friends, escaping a brutal work week, learning history, being creative. Every single one of those is valid. Picture two hobbyists. One wants to win tournaments and the other wants to paint every orc with a ridiculous mustache. Who's doing the hobby correctly? Both. Absolutely both. Although, the mustache orcs probably deserves best painted. Redefining success. Most hobbyists accidentally define success as winning, painting perfectly, or knowing every rule cold. Try measuring what you actually control. Instead, did I learn something? Did I improve one skill? Did I enjoy today's game? Was I a good opponent? Those are wins. And unlike your dice, you actually control them. Mostly. Unless the dice have unionized. I hate when that happens. Practical strategies. Strategy 1. Set one personal goal before every game. Not, I have to win. Try, remember my command phase. Practice deployment. Stay calm after bad rolls. Strategy 2. Replace comparison with curiosity. Instead of, they're better, try, how did you get that effect? Most hobbyists love sharing techniques. Ask a painter about dry brushing. You might accidentally schedule your entire afternoon. Strategy 3. Celebrate tiny improvements. Painted cleaner than last month? Victory. Remembered more rules? Victory. Showed up despite feeling nervous? Huge victory. Strategy number 4. Play more. Confidence doesn't come before experience. It grows because of it, eh? Waiting to feel confident first usually means waiting forever. Strategy 5. Be the player you wish you'd met. Compliment other armies. Encourage beginners. Laugh at your own mistakes. Confidence spreads. So does kindness, eh? Beauty. And yes, complimenting your opponent's army is still allowed, even while they're deleting yours in turn too. Ugh. Protect your interests. If you've been avoiding your local store because you're worried about being judged, reframe it, eh? You're not here to impress anybody. You're there to practice, to learn, to enjoy yourself. Nobody becomes confident by waiting until they already feel confident. Confidence grows through reps, one game at a time. Final thought. The comparison monster wants you to believe everyone else belongs here except you. But this hobby isn't reserved for Golden Demon winners or tournament champions. It's for anyone who loves tiny plastic soldiers and somehow owns 17 different shades of brown paint, eh? Don't ask me how that happens. It just does. When you stop trying to earn permission to belong, you realize you belong the whole time. If this quieted that little voice telling you everyone's judging you, send it to a hobby buddy who's been nervous about getting games in. Drop a comment. What made you nervous when you first started? And what would you tell someone starting today? Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for the next episode. Keep your brushes damp, keep rolling those dice, and be kind to yourself, eh? Comparison steals joy. Purpose builds confidence. Now go forth, be awesome, and paint for the paint gods.